Hello from Kathi Schwan in a very cold West Fargo weather today. I'm the North Dakota Volunteer State President, and I welcome you to AARP on Tap on this Friday afternoon or Friday morning. We are less than 1 month away from the June primary, and AARP wants to make sure you have the information you need to cast your ballot. To be ready to make your voice heard, in June, we are providing opportunities for you to learn more about your resources to do so. Now, I'm excited to welcome my guest who has joined me from the western part of the state, Erica Johnsrud, the McKenzie County Auditor and Treasurer. Erica, welcome.
Good morning, Kathy. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Erica, and your role in McKenzie County?
Absolutely. I am a rural native, Watford City, born and raised here. I returned to McKenzie County in 2013 and started my work here in the Auditor Treasurer's office. In 2018, I took over as the Auditor Treasurer and have loved serving the citizens here in McKenzie County. And I'm happy to talk to you today about one of my favorite duties in the office, which is the local county administration of elections.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica. As you know, AARP's voter engagement work focuses on making sure that voters have the information they need to cast their ballot. As I understand it, there are 3 ways that the voters can cast their ballot for the June primary. Can you elaborate?
Absolutely. Yes, there are 3 main ways. So the first one we'll talk about is absentee or mail ballots. So those are exactly the same process. The only difference is that if you live in a vote by mail county, your county auditor, if you voted in the past, will automatically send you out an application for a mail or an absentee ballot. If you're in a traditional county where you have traditional voting, you can only vote in that precinct, you as the voter will need to go out and solicit that application to request a ballot to come to you in the mail. All of our counties are required to have in-person voting. So it doesn't matter if you're in an absentee county traditionally or a mail county, you have the opportunity to also vote in person. But just going back to this application, if you haven't received one in the mail, there are a few places where you can go and get one. The first is on the internet at vote.nd.gov. That's a great resource. You'll hear me talk about that several times today. You can go find your absentee application there. You can likely go to your county's website and they will probably have an elections page where you can download that application. You can call the county auditor and have them send you one in the mail. We all have copies at our desks. You can stop in or you can call us. We'll mail you, we'll give you one at the counter. And the fourth way you can typically get those is an organization such as AARP mails those applications out to their membership. And I know AARP had a great push to get all of those out in the mail. So many of you may have already gotten those. And that's exactly what the application there looks like that Kathy has. And there's some key information on there that you will need to fill out if this is your method of voting. One, you need to tell us what elections you want to receive a mail ballot for. So a key thing here is that county auditors never send out ballots in the mail unless they have been requested from the voter. So you have an opportunity on that application to check what elections you want your ballot for. If you want one in June and you want one in November, you check both of those months and we will send that out and we will automatically get that to you in November. Once we get your application back, there are several steps that we have to do. We need to verify your information. If we have any questions, we'll reach out to you. So be sure to include your phone number so we can call you if we need to. And then we'll get your ballot out in the mail. So we've talked about absentee or mail ballot. That's one way you can vote. The second way is early voting. And this is not available in all counties. So if you're not sure if early voting is an option in your county, reach out to your county auditor or check out that website I mentioned, vote.nd.gov. There's a lot of great information there. It'll tell you all of that information. But a lot of times these are in the larger counties, Ward, Burley, Cass, Grand Forks, where you can actually go in person, vote, just like you would on election day, and put your ballot into a machine. If you vote early, your ballot is not tabulated until after the polls close on election day. So it's just kept securely in a ballot box until the polls close on election day. And then the third way you can vote is on election day in person. As I mentioned before, all counties do have to have at least one polling location open in their county for anyone that wants to vote in person on election day. Again, if you have any questions, your county auditor is probably going to be your best resource. And that website I mentioned, vote.nd.gov, will tell you who that is. If you don't know who your county auditor is, you can likely just call the courthouse in your county and they'll be able to point you to the right place and will certainly help you get wherever you need to be.
Wow, Erica, I bet you've explained that more than a few times to a few people. You had it all down. But one question that I had is, at the beginning, you mentioned something about how counties differentiate a little bit from one another. How does one know? Is there on the vote website, would that show why one county be a little bit different than the other?
So there's a variety of reasons why counties may do things a little bit different. In some of our smaller counties, in order to have what we refer to as a vote center, where all citizens in your county, no matter what precinct they live in, can come and vote in one place. That's called a vote center. You need to be a vote by mail county. Those are kind of how that works. So that's a vote by mail county. In traditional counties, you may have a vote center in those counties, but you probably have a precinct that's designated just for the people in your area that go and vote there. And those are the only voters that can vote in that location. And the only other difference between them is that in a vote by mail county, your auditor will mail you an application directly. And in a non-vote by mail county, you will have to seek that out yourself.
Oh, I see. Now, can you explain a little bit more in detail about what the ballot itself will look like?
Absolutely. So the June election is our primary election. North Dakota is a little bit different than some states where we have what's called an open primary, which means that all of the major parties are on the ballot. So, and if others have come from other states, maybe when you went to go and vote, you had to say, oh, I want a Democratic ballot or I want a Republican ballot. Here in North Dakota, our voters do not have to declare their party. They're able to vote in whichever party suits them the best. So you will see on the front side of your ballot, when you receive it, there will be two columns. On one side will be the Republican ticket. Then there'll be a blank column in the middle. And on the other side, on the right-hand side of the ballot, will be the Democratic Party. And voters have to stay within that party on the front side of their ballot. Those are the only partisan races. So if you vote in two parties, that's called a crossover vote. And those votes for those races won't count, because what we're doing in June is we're nominating individuals from parties to appear as that party candidate on the November election. So that's what's on the front side of your ballot. On the back side of the ballot will be all of the non-party races. So those are your judges, all of the county races, city races, if those apply to you, and school district races where the candidates are nonpartisan. And you can vote however you wish on the back side of your ballot. Just make sure you read those instructions on the ballot if you're not sure, or call your county auditor and they'll be more than happy to talk to you about that.
Sounds good. A lot of talk in other states are about how you prove your identification in order to qualify for a ballot. So can you elaborate on that as well?
Absolutely. North Dakota is unique. We are the only state in the country that does not require voter registration. So we have some voter ID laws in place of voter registration. So there are 4 different types of identification that you can bring with you, either to pick up a ballot in person via absentee, to request one by mail, or in person on election day. All of those same types of ID are applied. The first one, and probably the easiest one, is a North Dakota issued driver's license. And I really want to stress that it needs to be a North Dakota issued driver's license. We cannot accept out-of-state driver's licenses. So if you have an out-of-state driver's license and you've lived here for a while and you want to vote here, please make sure you visit your local DMV and get a North Dakota driver's license. The second form of ID is a North Dakota non-driver's identification card. So sometimes we see these in folks that maybe don't drive anymore. And somebody else takes care of that for them, but they can still get a state issued non-driver's identification card. Again, North Dakota is the important thing. The third one is a tribal identification card. So for any of our tribal members, reach out to your tribal offices and they will be able to either, if you don't have an ID, they will be able to get you an ID. They all have them. We've seen them. We have examples of them. And the fourth way is a long-term care certificate. So this might be somebody who's living in a skilled nursing facility or a residential home that's different from where their residence is. And those long-term care certificates can be obtained directly from the facility that they're in. They all know what those are and how to obtain those. And again, that has to be a North Dakota facility. So those are the four: North Dakota driver's license, North Dakota non-driver's ID card, a tribal ID card, and a long-term care certificate.
Oh, I mean, it's so easy to do. We are very lucky that we live in a state where this is not an issue. And I just want to mention, if you are an AARP member or someone in your household is, 32,000 of these forms went out. I think I received mine a little over a week ago. And it sure makes it easy when you've got that form right in front of you. But there's a lot of people that don't have internet, so it's definitely a plus for them too. I guess everybody seems to know what we're talking about because I haven't had any questions and you've answered all of mine. Anything else you can let us know about, Erica?
There is just one tip I would like to share with you. For all voters, it's really important that you plan now how you intend to vote in the June primary election. A lot of things come up. I know here in McKenzie County, our fair is that week, and Tuesday, election day, Flag Day, is the day that all of the steers have to be weighed in. So there's a lot of folks that may be busy and just will they'll forget to make that plan for how they're going to vote on election day. So sit down, look at your calendar, make sure that you know how you're going to vote on election day. Make sure you have your ID handy. And if you have any questions, vote.nd.gov is a super great resource. You'll be able to track your ballot. You'll be able to see a sample ballot. You'll know who your county auditor is. But if you don't have internet access, or if you have any questions, call your county auditor. Like I said, look us up in the phone book, search for us however you can. We'll be able to help get you the information. Our goal is to make sure every voter has a positive voting experience. So we want to help ensure that that happens.
So Erica, the sample ballots by location are already on vote.nd.gov?
Yes, they are. I checked mine earlier this week, so you can print out a sample ballot that will show all of the races that will be on your ballot specifically.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I guess we've certainly learned that there is no difficulty in voting in North Dakota. So we sure hope everybody will do that. And I thank you today, Erica. And I understand you guys had a lot of rain out your way.
We did. We had a few snowflakes. Yeah, a lot of rain and a few snowflakes today. So,
well, that's good. We all in the East know that you need the moisture out there. We've had our share and don't need any more.
We're thankful for everything we can get.
Great. Appreciate it today, Erica. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
And with AARP, know how to stay connected. It's on our website, and there's a lot of things coming up in the near future with not only voting, but how to stay in touch with some of the things that concern you the most. Prescription drugs, scam alerts, fraud. But right now, everything is all about the voting. And join me in June. We'll be debriefing the results from the June election. We'll see you next month for another AARP on Tap. Thank you. Bye, Erica.
Bye-bye.
Bye.